Well, you know, freshman Congressman Kerry Bentivolio, the former reindeer rancher who reps the 11th District here in Michigan, may not get too comfortable in his D.C. office. He's got some competition. Longtime Oakland County Republican and attorney David Trott announced this week he is getting into the 2014 race. Sure, Bentivolio had Speaker John Boehner recently appear at a Birmingham fundraiser, but with recent comments like it would be a dream come true to write a bill to impeach President Obama, he may find himself a little bit vulnerable. So the rumblings about this race, about Trott getting into this race, has been going on for a couple of weeks now. So do you believe...
It's been going on for a year. I mean, he's been actively running for a year and setting up an organization. He didn't just, you know, decide last week he's going
out of nowhere. But do you think that the Republicans in this area, they've got their guy and they're going to back him to try to oust Bentivolio?
They'll back Trott. Now the problem here is that when Trott got into the race, really even before Bentivolio was elected last time, everybody assumed he was going to go down there and just be a complete embarrassment, give everybody, you know, a reason to vote against him. And actually he's gone down there and been, except for the one comment on impeachment, he's been a pretty reliable vote for the Republican leadership. He's been quiet. The bills he's introduced and sponsored have been fairly reasonable. He is not provided the opportunity that folks thought he would when he first went down there a year ago. So I think it's going to be tougher than perhaps they've thought it.
Well, I mean, should people be concerned, though, that success is just towing the line and being quiet and not screwing up? Well, that's the leadership?
First-year Congress people, that's what they do. I mean, you don't have any clout, and so you know you're earning your stripes, and you're asked to provide the votes that the leadership needs to get its agenda advanced. So there's nothing wrong with that. You see that on both sides of the aisle, frankly. And Bentivolio has done a good job of doing that and keeping his mouth shut for the most part. He hasn't been the sort of, I think we all thought this guy would be a cartoon character in Washington, and he hasn't.
Certainly Trott thought that, and as did the the Oakland County Republicans. But you know, one thing Trott has been doing is groundwork. He has been at every function. He has supported all of the Republican committee's work out there in Oakland County and Western Wayne. He's been everywhere. So I mean, if anybody's got a shot at unseating an incumbent, I think he does. But it is still a big job.
But hang on. You just laid the groundwork for me saying, he's done his job.
Right.
He's been great. He's kept his mouth shut. He's followed the party line. He's done a fine job. He hasn't done anything embarrassing.
We didn't go that far. What we said
so wait a minute. So why would he didn't hurt himself? All right. So why would Oakland County Republicans? Why would they want him out? Why wouldn't they just want to continue with him? Because if he's done everything he's supposed to do,
potential's always there for him to walk off the dock.
And here's he is not part of the Republican establishment, not in Oakland County, not in Michigan, and so now I think they're saying, look, we want that. That's our seat. We want it back. We want somebody in there who's much more part of that organization, which Dave Trott certainly is, and that's why they're going to take it. You know, you see this a lot of times with this sort of internal dynamic inside the parties when the establishment doesn't have control of something as important as a congressional seat. They don't like it, so they try to take it back.
And remember, they had a write-in candidate against him last time.
Right.
I mean, the party worked really hard to try to beat their own candidate here. So I mean, it's not. It's not a shock that they'd be lining up against a guy who has been a good party soldier. I mean, it's in a lot of ways, it's not much different than how the folks in Western Michigan are starting to look at Justin Amash. I mean, there were some questions about him in the beginning. There's not a whole lot of happiness with Justin Amash amongst establishment Republicans in Western Michigan, but
he's making an interesting name for himself. All right, well, we finally have an answer. Okay, we did. According to the state this week, yes, Mike Duggan won the Detroit mayoral primary. The election is certified, but not so fast. The Wayne County Board of Canvassers decided on Thursday that they're going to count the votes again based on a new accusation of fraud. This is like the never-ending vote count. This is like the Groundhog Day of vote counts.
Let's count them till January 1st when the new mayor takes office.
This is the reason Detroit is is sitting in bankruptcy court. I mean, it's just an absolute circus, and this illustrates it. I mean, this is just one more example.
One of the more substantive issues here, I think, is a very concerted effort on the part of some folks like Robert Davis, the union activist, and Tom Barrow, the four-time failed
former candidate,
mayoral candidate, to undermine the whole idea of finality, right? So to say we didn't lose because voters decided that we lose, we lost because the system is rigged, and so that gives us a right to question every single thing that gets done over the next 4 years. That's a very dangerous environment to court in a city like Detroit, and it's horribly irresponsible because we do have all kinds of things in Detroit that we do need to fix and things that do need to be questioned. This is a distraction from a very important decision that we have to make, which is who's going to be the leader of this city after we come out of it.
In one of the most pivotal time in the city's history.
But we're in a pattern now where every single thing is being taken to court by Davis and a couple others.
Everything.
And when is Davis going to go to court? I thought he was up on charges.
Indicted,
yeah. He has been
So
indicted.
you've got a guy who's been indicted for criminal activity, basically becoming a drag, an anchor on the reform process in Detroit, because every move has to be fought out in the Ingham County Circuit Court.
Bottom line, will this change anything about the November election in terms of how it's carried out, how it is done?
I think the hope of the people who are pushing this is that it gives voters pause about whether their vote counts. I mean, the irony here is that they're saying, look, we've got to protect people's say and protect democracy in Detroit, but at the same time that they're trying to either suppress the vote, confuse it, or just give people no faith at all in the system, which again, is a very dangerous thing to
Well,
be.
what's their end game? What do they want in the end? I mean,
that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I think they want people to doubt that any of the things that are going on in Detroit are actually about helping people in the city move ahead.
but what does it accomplish? I don't understand what they're
power.
getting here. There is going to be an election in November.
And, well, let's hope. Yes, it's supposed to be. Well, it's time now for headlines. Funny thing that caught our attention this week, Congressman Dan Kildee from mid-Michigan, from the Flint area, he made a little national news. He was on the Colbert Report, and Stephen, you know all about that. And he did a little dancing. I kid you not. Take a look.
Okay. Let's change the subject. Madonna is from your district.
She is.
Okay.
Right.
Congressman, do you vogue?
I don't know if I do or not.
Have you ever vogued?
I don't think I have.
Congressman,
Yes.
may I vogue you?
I
Maybe less hard. Congressman Kildee is a great sport, so he didn't really vogue, but Stephen vogued for him. But man, that was good.
He's that good through that.
He's that good. All right, what else did you see this week?
Well, on another not as light aside, we had another 12-year-old shot on a porch last week in an adult shootout. That's one a week. Children killed, one a week since the first of the year in Detroit. It's an absolute slaughter, and nobody's talking about it enough.
All right, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear from the police chief then?
I think the new chief is actually really focused on doing
Yeah, but
things
what do you want to hear?
I think as a community, I want to hear folks start talking about how responsibility and what we're going to do to protect our children. Because if you can't feel that your children are going to be safe on their front porch, why would you even consider staying?
Well, and this is the thing. These are the things that people in Detroit ought to be getting really pissed
angry
off about,
Yeah.
as opposed to what Mayor Menino says in Boston, or
About Detroit.
or what Kevin
Yeah.
Orr even says about Detroiters.
right.
It's a mess.
And we are going to have to end it right there. Thanks so much, gentlemen, and thanks so much for watching My Week tonight. Check out myweek.org for links to our stories tonight, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. That'll do it. Have a great night. Take care. We'll see you next week.